Following a trio of murders of leaders of the shack dwellers movement, Abahlali Basemjondolo, the Assembly of the Unemployed, the AOU, is calling on Police Minister Bheki Cele and the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services, Ronald Lamola, to act. Lindokuhle Mnguni, the spokesperson of the eKhenana Commune, was murdered a fortnight ago. He had witnessed the murder of another leader, Ayanda Ngila, who was killed in March. Sia Mama is from the Assembly of the Unemployed and joins me now to share their concerns about these attacks. Sia, welcome and condolences on the losses to your movements and the communities that those individuals led. You believe this is a deliberate campaign to destroy the ABM. Why?
So, as the Assembly of the Unemployed, we think this is a deliberate movement, not only to destroy the ABM, but any radical movement that seeks to find alternative way to contest the contradictions and the issues of land, to contest the building of alternative food systems contrary to what we currently seeing in the South African food system, to build an alternative to the current setting and order of this society in terms of building livelihoods in the crisis of unemployment, in the crisis of the ecological crisis. And we see these acts as dismissing activism around these radical activities.
You must have some theories then, Sia, about where these attacks are coming from, who's orchestrating that. We'll get to the investigations and what you might be hearing from police in a moment, but I imagine that in conversation with your colleagues, you do have some theories.
Well, Imam, these are attacks straight from the state, and the contestation of the state in terms of their plans for land. And these are contestations around occupation against what the state is proposing. So this is clear that this is the ANC government, and of course, the ANC government with its corporate and capitalist partners within the private sector who have different understandings and plans over land, outside of the livelihoods that have been planned by our colleagues and comrades within the ABM, our colleagues and comrades elsewhere in South Africa who are struggling against land occupation and this struggle. So this is an actual attack by the ANC government and its corporate and business interests into stopping radical movements into creating an alternative system and an alternative system of livelihoods against the corporate food systems that we're seeing in South Africa, against the corporate organizing of land, and of the corporate land.
These are broad, but also in a way specific accusations and allegations that you're making, Sia. Have you shared these with the authorities as they investigate? What have you heard about the investigations, and what are you sharing in the information that you've just been sharing with us now? I wonder if we've lost Sia. We'll try and re-establish with him because we want to establish the basis for some of those really strong sentiments that he shares about where these attacks might be emanating from. And we also wanted to get some more information from Sia about the ABM movement itself and the Assembly of the Unemployed, what they intend to do in the aftermath of these attacks. All right, we do have Sia Mama, who is with the Assembly of the Unemployed, back on the line. Unfortunately, his signal was bad, so we'll do a telephone call with him. Sia, I was in the middle of the question just saying that you had made, some pretty strong allegations in answering where you think these attacks against your members and members of ABM are coming from. And I wanted to ask you the question around that proof for those allegations and whether you had shared that with the investigating team from the police.
So our colleagues and comrades from Abahlali have been assisting the authorities, including the proof around this particular and these killings and the killings of members of Abahlali in particular. So these are issues that have been brought up and brought forward to the investigators themselves to go and look into this, and including authorities. So this is something that has been even reported and said to authorities. And what we're calling for is for Minister Bheki Cele and the Minister of Justice and Correctional Services to take these things up, to take these things seriously, because they really mean a lot for a democratic South Africa that is for social justice and that is for a serious democratic building of movements of livelihoods and movements of alternatives and education.
It's Sia, just before I let you go, we shared in the opening with our viewers the murders of three of your colleagues and members of ABM. Some of these murders go back to at least 6 months or more ago this year alone. What are you hearing from police about progress in their investigations? So far, there's been nothing really that has been coming forward. Literally, nothing has been done about this. And this is why many of us and many movements are coming out and saying, this is not acceptable. Something really needs to be done about this. We need actual results. And these issues are issues that should be prioritized. And we can no longer take this. This can no longer be tolerated. And this is why many of our movements are now coming forward to say, we condemn this. Nothing should be happening like this in a democratic South Africa. Sia, thank you very much for updating us on developments with regard to the murders of your colleagues, and we'll again keep an eye on developments in the story. The Assembly of the Unemployed representative there, Sia Mama.